Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another round of the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. I'm your commentator for the evening, Brett Strickler. Ryan Kent, unable to make it tonight, maybe a little under the weather post-New Year festivities, but also alongside me tonight and in the pits, KR Stolfus. KR, say hi to everybody.
Well, hello from the pits.
That's KR for you. He's going to be down amongst the drivers and the crews, and maybe we'll get a word from him here or there. Should be a quick night, KR. We have 5 cars on hand and only a 30-lap main event as opposed to our 100-lap asphalt event. Got any word out there? Like Dan Holmes time trials for the heat race.
Yeah, Dan definitely has been running some nitro through his car. He has passed tech somehow. Pretty sure he bribed an official.
Guess we're going to have to double check up on that one. Let's just go ahead and take a quick second here and look at the point standings. Your current point leader by 6 points over second place is Jim Big, and Jim Big is second quick in tonight's time trial session, followed by Dan Holmes. In second in points is the guy 6 points back, but is tonight's fast time trialer. Third in points is Bo Brudig, 94 points back from the lead. He is also third place on tonight's time trial order. And coincidentally, fourth place is Jason Brown, both in points and time trials. Jason is 278 points back from the lead and sits fourth in the time trial session tonight here at Lanier Speedway. David Flick in that 56 machine will round out your top 5 for time trials. And David is currently 13th in points, 686 points back from the lead. We do have 2 other drivers with us tonight that took practice time and are missing the call at the moment. Tyson Landis, I believe he had a bit of an emergency situation. He had to take off, maybe work, who knows. And the 22 of Weston Newell, the Kirksville, Missouri native, took practice times with us, and he is not with us at the moment, so he may miss the call for time trials. KR, you got any word on 2 drivers missing tonight?
Tyson Landis said it was too cold for him, and he couldn't stand it, so he packed up and went on home. And as far as Weston Newell, I believe I locked him in the porta potty.
You might want to go get him out there, KR.
No, it's much safer that way for him.
Well, we're closing down here. We got about a minute left on time trials. We'll see if either one of these drivers can make the call. If not, we will proceed with the 10-lap heat race, in which the drivers will start in the way they finished time trials. And then they will race the race, and in the way they finish the heat race, they will start the main event. Again, 30 laps around the Lanier Speedway tonight. Back on dirt after a asphalt December. We're going to go 2 weeks on dirt for January to bring in 2018. My favorite thing, getting back to the dirt racetracks.
Man, I'll tell you what, I am excited to be on the dirt here as well. Lanier is a great dirt track for the iRacing stuff. They did a really great job on it. It's a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, a lot of times the fast line is pretty much putting that rear bumper on that outside wall and hanging on to it by your fingernails.
Fingernails there, KR.
All right, so they're gridding for our first heat race.
I did notice, KR, that we do have one guy that rolled into the pit area very late, but he's going to be pushing it to get on the racetrack for the heat race. That's the number 16 of Jeffrey Stanton. Jeffrey Stanton has just rolled in and registered. We will see if he's able to tag the rear end of the field for this 10-lap heat race.
These guys are now starting to take to the grid here. And we'll give you a quick rundown of the running order. On pole will be Dan Holmes, setting quick time tonight so far, so he'll be starting on the pole. Outside of him is the 17 machine of Jim Vig. Second row inside is Bo Brunig in the 50 machine. Second row outside, Jason Brown in the 12, nicknamed Nightmare. And then David Flick in the 56. We'll bring up third row inside, and Jeffrey Stanton, if he can make it to the grid, will be starting outside of him.
Looks like Jeffrey Stanton did make it on the grid in time. We have 6 out of 8 drivers registered with us right now. Well, KR, we got about 30 seconds and... Oh, never mind, I lied. We're going to get rolling right now. Who's your favorite to win this heat race here, KR?
And these guys are going to be tough to decide. Dan Holmes up front is going to be hard to pass, but Jim Vig has got what I would say the preferred line. And if he can get around Dan and stay with him on the start, be watching for Jim Vig to come out with the lead here.
This track slick from the bottom to the top. Gonna take some feathering of that throttle, that car straight. Gonna keep it in line and going fast. Exit turn number 2 under pace laps. Dan Holmes and Jim Vig will bring us to the green flag. Your top 2 in points, sharing the front row for tonight's 10-lap JSRL Spike Chassis Heat Race event. And the green flag is out.
Jim Vig running it to the high side, gonna try and get that momentum. But like you said, this thing is slick from top to bottom. So it didn't seem like he got a very good run there, and everyone being oh so careful getting into the corner.
And we've already got a battle for the lead as Bo Bruning has risen from his 3rd place starting spot to challenge Dan Holmes for your top position. And right behind him, David Flick coming from 5th, also challenging, making that a 3-car battle for the race lead.
David Flick is able to get a good run through the middle of the corner there. Just a little bit of contact with Bo Bruning, but neither car upset too much and both keep going. Meanwhile, Jason Brown gets up into the wall in the back.
And we got a battle for the lead. Bruning to the inside. Will overtake Dan Holmes in turns 1 and 2, but Dan is not giving up yet. He's using that momentum, riding right through the slick, trying to keep the car wound up as he'll stay side by side. Makes a little bit of contact with the flag stand with the outside wall. He is not ready to give up just yet as he stays wheel to wheel with Bo Bruning.
We're on lap 5 of 10, coming around lap 6 now. Dan Holmes hanging tough on that high side, but Bo Bruning looking for that little bit of extra moisture on the bottom, keeping his rear tires there down the straightaway with all the grip. But man, Dan Holmes has got some momentum up top. He has got that car wound up.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Right out. I can't even talk now. I was gonna say you took the words out of my mouth. Dan Holmes just keeping that car a little bit wound up, and it seems that Bo might have found a little bit of grip on the bottom. He has now cleared Dan for the race lead. Holmes still trying to make the middle of the track work. We are coming up on 2 laps to go. David Flick also falling a position back, losing a spot to Jim Vig. Jim Vig running up against the wall. David Flick overtakes him. He's back into the 3rd position.
Bo Bruning doing a very solid job, steady, consistent laps. And he's coming around for the white flag this time. One more time around for this heat race. Dan Holmes still trying to make it work up hot top as David Flick trying to get down underneath him. But Bo Bruning coming around. Your winner for the heat race will be Bo Bruning in the 50.
Following him across the stripe is 83 of Dan Holmes, who was your tonight's fast time trialer. Coming across 3rd and will start 3rd in tonight's main event is the 56 of David Flick. Finishing 4th, also starting 4th in tonight's event is the 17, your current points leader, Jim Vig. Behind him is the Nightmare himself, number 12, Jason Brown. Jason Brown will roll off 5th in tonight's main event. And rounding out your field, your late entry, rolling in just as we were getting ready to start the heat race, will be the 16 of Jeffrey Stanton. JR, we got a little bit of an insight here on how slick this track is. It seemed that Bo made the bottom work as he just kind of coasted around it. And what are you looking for here in the main event? Do you think anybody's going to move around a little bit?
Yeah, we're going to see cars high, low, just like we saw in this heat. It's going to be a continuation for the feature of what we just saw. I would be looking for everyone to try and run the bottom since Bo Bruning won the race from the bottom. But there's going to be so many cars there, you're going to have to find a way to get around them. That means trying the high side.
So once again, Bo Brunig will be your pole sitter for tonight's main event, and Dan Holmes will share the front row with him. Let's go ahead and take a minute, run through the sponsors that support this division and make it possible week in and week out. Here on this New Year's Day as we bring in 2018, we'd like to thank our series sponsors. First and foremost, Spike Chassis, located in Brownsburg, Indiana. Spike Chassis manufactures championship-winning open-wheel midget, wing, and non-wing sprint cars. In addition, Spike Chassis offers a large inventory of open-wheel parts, race car setup, fabrication, and machine shop services for all your winning needs. Check out #WinWithSpike or find them on the web at www.spikechassis.com. JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series is also brought to you by Sam Pierce Chevrolet. The best Chevy deals are in the country. Visit sampierchevrolet.com to check out their inventory. Also thanking Kenny's Components. Kenny's Components specializes in design consultation, engineering, production, and custom fabrication to meet your exact specifications and needs. Advanced composites such as carbon fiber, Kevlar, and fiberglass, Kenny's is dedicated to building high-quality composite products for all type of racing machines. Find them on the web at www.kennyscomponents.com. Last but not least, JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series would like to thank Hoosier Tire Midwest. Hoosier Tire Midwest Incorporated is the largest Hoosier racing tire distributor in the United States, serving the Midwest through warehouses in Indianapolis and Plymouth, Indiana, and Springfield, Illinois. From drag strips, road courses, and oval tracks, dirt and asphalt, sprint cars, midgets, late models, and even street cars, Hoosier Tire Midwest has winning tires for all your needs. Check them out on the web at www.racetires.com. Once again, big thank you going out to all our sponsors that make this series possible. We would like to wish them a very happy new year, and we are very, very grateful for their support.
All right, so thank you again for the sponsors. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Cars going to be going to battle at the Big E, the house that Earl built, Eldora Speedway. Oh, here we go. This is going to get interesting, KR. Al Smith and Ryan Pace decided to go up top. Alex and Ray went second to the bottom, and there comes Al back down on the bottom.
I'd say that there are some people that are just getting a little too excited. Their Thunderfoot's affecting their brake foot, and man, somebody forgot to connect a brain in there.
Forward wide into turn one there, KR. You're right, cars everywhere. Randy Hannigan looking strong down on the bottom, side by side into one with Billy Weiss. Two real-life racers here showing you, man, this is an awesome B-Main, KR.
With a quick time of a 16.723.
We've seen Ryan fishing line, cast line. Ray Farlow still committed to that bottom, and he's looking to take the lead here in 3 and 4. Bruce Jones sitting there just waiting to capitalize on a mistake by either one of those two. Here they come, coming off turn 4, side by side. It looks like maybe Fred Lampella, the legend, has went up top, and he's going to see if he can get that top coming in, KR.
He has, and he's not the only one that's running the high side. Many of them are working their way to that high side.
Earlier today in practice, the track slicked off a little bit.
Tell me about it, TJ. What happened out there, man?
Well, it was a pretty good race by me. I was a little worried after qualifying. Looked like I was definitely lacking some speed. So to find a little bit there in the heat race felt pretty good. Just didn't have anything for Vinny.
We seen KR mentioned, I missed it, but Billy Weiss got into the back of you down the main straightaway there. What was all that about?
Oh, I don't know. He's driving his car and I'm driving mine, but I seem to be in front.
I love it! I love it! And look at some of the names there. We got USAC star and midget, real life USAC and midget star Billy Weiss sitting right there, quick time here in the warm-up session. Oh, Randy Hannigan, another real life racer, man. Randy the Hurricane Hannigan just knocked him off for that top time here in the hot lap session. For a couple pace laps before we go green. There is this that KR porky pig. At any rate, man, two names are missing tonight.
They are. Who are you
We're
thinking?
missing. I'm thinking Joe Quinn and Vinny Sassoon.
That's exactly who I was thinking. Man, as we do this, our diet.
Jeffrey the Jet Stanton is out of. I know where he's out of, but I'm drawing a blank here.
Did I say that right? It's, you know what? It's the 360s at Eldora, Dan. I just got kicked out of iRacing.
Yeah,
my throughput is very performance orientated.
Oh, my wife let me drink my moonshine out of a cup instead of a jar, so I'm feeling a little sophisticated.
Now, you know what? That's what makes this fun, because neither one of us really should be doing this.
Finally, the most truthful thing you ever said.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after our short commercial break. We have the 30-lap JSRL Spike Chassis 410 non-wing main event at hand right now. Cars are on the speedway, getting a little bit of warm-up in. The track is slightly different, looks to be a little heavier. Maybe we'll see a little bit more moving around in tonight's main event than we did in the heat race. A little more racing, a little more chance for opportunity for our 6 drivers tonight. Let's just go ahead and look at, while we're talking about dirt, let's go ahead and look at the schedule for January. This is round number 9 for the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series. 9 of 12 on the season. All 4 of remaining events, including this one, will come this January. We'll bring in the new year with 2 dirt events at Lanier, and next week on January 8th at Volusia Speedway, another 30-lap main event. Then we will have an off week on January 15th, followed by 2 consecutive weeks on the 22nd and 29th of asphalt events at Iowa and Lucas Oil. We have a dominant standout performer in both, I'd like to refer to as classes, take it as you will, a dirt sprint car and the asphalt sprint car. We have 2 dominant performers, one of which on hand with us tonight is Bo Brunig. Bo Brunig has won every single dirt race with us this season, including round 2 at USA, round 4 at Eldora, and round 6 at Williams Grove. Brunig is 3 for 3 on the dirt, and can he make it 4 for 4 tonight, KR?
Man, Bo is definitely a solid driver when it comes to the dirt, and turning into a very decent pavement driver as well. I would be looking for him to do a lot more of the same of what he did in the heat race, running steady, consistent laps right along the bottom, not getting the car too far out of shape, and then just letting the carts fall where they do, and just getting all that he can out of the car without pushing it too hard.
I think he might be one of the better ones at doing so, as it shows that he has 3 wins already this season here on our dirt events. And yes, you did mention on his asphalt performances, they have been steadily increasing thanks to the help of Dan Smith and Jason Brown, his teammates. Also mentioning Dan Smith was the other performer I mentioned earlier about what I like to refer to as classes. He has been the asphalt standout as he has won 4 of 5 asphalt races. The only other driver to win on asphalt came on November 6th, round 3 at the Phoenix International Raceway, and that was Jeffrey Stanton. Jeffrey Stanton is also on hand tonight for tonight's dirt event. Maybe he can show a little bit of hybrid driving skills as he can switch back and forth from asphalt to dirt and dirt to asphalt. But let's focus on tonight's main event here at Lanier Speedway. We have a new quick time through practice sessions and a little hot lab warm-up practice sessions here. KR, who's your favorite for tonight's main event?
I'm gonna go with Bo Bruning. He's just so solid at the dirt tracks. I'm picking the easy choice of Bo, and you know, just what we saw in the heat race. He didn't set a foot wrong, and just steady, consistent laps put him in front.
Always easy to pick the favorite there, KR, isn't it?
Oh, sure. Now, the question is whether or not he can win this thing.
All right, well, here we go, KR. We have drivers getting ready to grid. We're going to run down our starting lineup for tonight's 30-lap main event here in the clay at Lanier Speedway. Starting on the pole, KR's favorite to win the race tonight, driving the number 50, the Tinley Park, Illinois native. This is Bo Bruning. Starting outside position number 2, a part-time commentator with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series, driving the number 83 out of Califran, New Jersey. That is Dan Holmes. Dan Holmes in the number 83. Starting third inside row number 2, driving the number 56 machine out of Livingston, Montana. This is David Flick. Starting outside row number 2, position number 4, your current series points leader, driving the number 17 out of Piscataway, New Jersey. This is Jim Big. Starting 5th inside row number 3, the Nightmare himself, number 12 out of, I almost said Mechanicsburg, Chambersburg, Jason Brown. Rounding out tonight's field, a one-time feature winner this season with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series is Jeffrey Stanton. And it looks like the green flag has dropped. KR, we are underway.
We have, and a surprising, David Flick did not make it out in time.
Good catch there, KR. I didn't even notice that. That's a tough one. He was the guy that I mentioned turned the fastest lap time in practice in the pre-race hot lap session. That's a good eye there, KR.
Well, you know, I tend to pay attention to things going on in the pits.
That's why you're our pit reporter. So that leaves us with 5 cars on the speedway. Bo Bruning out to the early race lead. Again, this is a short main event compared to our asphalt events. This is 30 laps as opposed to 100. And already Bo Bruning opening up over a second lead over second place Dan Holmes. I think you might hit the nail on the head this one, KR. It's a little early, but Bo Bruning already showing his dominance.
He is, and you know, if you watch his car, it just sets in the corner real nice. He's able to roll into the throttle and get that thing pointed down back towards the straightaway and accelerates through, and a great lap there for him.
It looks like most of our battle for position is for the last podium position, currently held by Jeffrey Stanton. The battle also involved Jason Brown and Jim Vig. They are all battling for third position. Jason Brown had it a few laps ago, and Jeffrey Stanton took it away from him. But more importantly, KR, we're only 7 or 8 laps into this event, and Bo Bruning almost has a 2-second lead.
He is. He's opening up a lead over Dan Holmes. Dan running the high line along with Bo. These two are walking away from the field, but Dan just unable to do anything with Bo Bruning right now.
I think I may be hearing something, KR, but I think David Flick had trouble getting that car to fire. It looks like he may be under power. I don't know if he's going to join us. He has joined us. He is back on the raceway. Right in front of your leader, Bo Bruning. That car back under power.
Bo Bruning is going to be closing in on David Flick, but, you know, David Flick just now got out there. Looks to have been turning great laps in practice, so it's unfortunate for David. I got him scored as 6 laps down, but unfortunately for him, that's just too much of an uphill battle to be a factor in this race.
Yeah, so that's a little upsetting. I was going to say, if you pick Bruning to win, you might want to keep an eye on Flick, but Flick missed the call. That's probably a heartbreaker for that 56 machine.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating to be fast in practice and then miss the start of the race and end up 6 laps down. But he's out there now, turning laps, and you know you can't ever replace good old seat time.
We do have a battle heating up again for that 3rd position. Jeffrey Stanton has moved to the bottom of the raceway, sliding up that time in front of Jason Brown. But Jason Brown is flinging that car, throwing a slide job back at Stanton. He will take your 3rd position coming across the stripe at lap number 4 to complete lap 14. Most importantly, Bo Bruning, he is putting on a show. And it looks like we have our first yellow of the night, KR.
We do. It looks like Dan Holmes is the one that got in trouble here.
Oh, that's not good. He was in the runner-up position.
He was. We're going into our instant replay here. I've been watching him for a few laps, and he was getting awfully close to that wall. So as the replay comes around here, no idea. Pace truck came out.
Like he may have made contact with the outside wall in turns 3 and 4, sent that car in a little bit of a tailspin. He is under his own power, though. That is good news for the 83 machine.
That'll slot him back into 5th. So it went from 2nd to 5th, but Jeffrey Stanton will be the beneficiary of that caution as him and Jason Brown were battling for 3rd spot. But when the yellow came out, Jeffrey Stanton was in 2nd place.
Quick rundown of your lineup, your top 5, or I should say rather your top 6, as there are 6 cars. Bruning paces the field. Now Stanton will be the beneficiary. Is from 6th to 2nd. He is running 2nd. Jason Brown is 3rd. Jim Big 4th. Dan Holmes is your top 5, and David Flick is scored 6th. 6 laps down. I believe the lights are out on the pace car. We look to go green right now. We are back underway at Lanier Speedway. 10 laps to go.
Jeffrey Stanton has got an eye full of Bo Bruning, and Bo Bruning will now have a challenge from Jeffrey Stanton that he has to fend off.
I just don't think anybody has anything for that number 50 machine there, KR, as he is already capping the 16 of Jeffrey Stanton.
He sure is. He's starting to pull away a little bit here, almost 0.6 seconds that time around. Now 1.3 second lead over 2nd place. He is on the loud pedal and widening the gap.
Keeping an eye back on the field there for Dan Holmes. Dan Holmes was bringing out that yellow flag and not really getting anywhere. There may be some damage on that number 83 machine, halting him from having the same exact car he was having earlier.
I'm currently watching Jim Big and Jason Brown battle it out. Jim Big get a little bit sideways there coming out of 2, but put Jim Big in front of Jason Brown now. Jim Big is 3rd spot, Jason Brown dropping back to 4th.
You know, in a points perspective, KR, that's really good for Jim Big and Dan Holmes. Got in a little bit of an accident, and when Jim goes ahead here and keeps putting cars in between him, that's going to open up his advantage with only 3 races remaining left in the 12-race season.
We just saw Jim Vig get really crossed up and tagged the inside wall.
Looks like I may have jinxed it.
He got onto the throttle in the slick spot, got it crossed up, tagged the inside wall, but is able to keep going. We are on lap 27 of 30. Bo Brunig out to a 3-second lead, now lap 28 of 30. Bo Brunig just giving a straight-up dominating show.
3 laps to go there,
tonight.
KR, and Jim Vig just pulled it into the pit area. That is not good for your points series leader, as the leader has just crossed the stripe finish line for 2 laps to go. Jim Vig is now off the speedway.
So points loss here, big time for Jim Vig, as Dan Holmes is still out on the track and is fighting for 3rd spot.
White flag is out for the number 50 of Bo Brunig, and he is just on cruise control. He can coast to his 4th series victory, all back to back to back to back. Bo Brunig, tonight's Lanier Speedway 30-lap main event feature winner. Coming across the stripe second, tonight's hard charger, starting 6th, finishing 2nd, is the 16 of Jeffrey Stanton. Rounding out the podium after an mid-race mishap was the 83 of Dan Holmes. Dan Holmes started 2nd, will bring it home 3rd after getting around in turns around lap 15. Jason Brown will come across 4th. Finishing off the speedway, scored with 5th, 3 laps down, is your current series points leader, the number 17 of Jim Vig. That is subject to change after tonight's results. And after not being able to fire that car to start the night, the number 56 of David Flick will be scored 6th position, 6 laps down. Heartbreaker for the 56 machine.
All right, we have our top 3 finishers in the booth here for interviews, and I'm going to let Brett handle this. Brett, fire away.
All right, well, first and foremost, Bo, I don't know what to say to you, man. That car was on rails.
Yeah, thanks. It wasn't too bad. I feel bad for Dave. I feel like him and I would have had a really good race. I actually think he was probably better than me most of the night at this track, but hey, we'll take him any way we can get him.
Yeah, win's a win. As long as you check one off in the column, it doesn't matter how it got there.
Yeah, I want to take it. I want to make sure I take advantage of this week and next week, since we missed a week a couple weeks ago. So hopefully we can get back in that points lead and finish off the season.
Yeah, we noticed that you were not with us last week, or I should say rather 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
We had a week off there for Christmas, but yeah, you were not with us for New Smyrna. That hurt your little bit of a points chance that you had. You're now 90, I believe 94 points behind, pending tonight's results and points changes. How are you feeling about the overall points scheme here, there, Bo?
I feel okay, since I know we get 2 drops, and I think this is win 3 or 4 on the year. So I still think we'll be right there, if not in the lead. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. But yeah, it was a shame to miss New Smyrna. I did a lot of practicing with Dan Smith prior to the night, and we were really good. I think I might have been able to beat him, but it just yeah, some work things got in the way and kept me away from the track.
Yeah,
But
KR,
we'll move
I
on.
hit up here on your versatility and how you're able to go from asphalt to dirt and still be competitive. You're one of the few drivers in this division that can really, really, really be stout switching back and forth, and we applaud you for that. We know that you're not the only one that puts all the work into this 50 machine. You got anybody that's back there turning wrenches you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank Jason and everybody here at JSRL for holding the events, and you guys for broadcasting. It's always nice to be able to showcase what some good driving looks like, and thank everybody for watching. Tune in. If you're race car drivers, get those spike chassis. I'm sure they got a good deal going on. They'll be down at the Chili Bowl, so check them out. Thank you, guys.
That is tonight's 30-lap Lanier Speedway feature event winner with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series, Bo Brunig. Congratulations going out to Bo Brunig. I believe KR has caught up with our second-place finisher, Jeffrey Stanton. KR, do you have Jeffrey Stanton?
Mr. Stanton, how you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, doing okay, I guess.
congratulations on second place finish, and definitely congratulations on getting in by the skin of your teeth. We saw you just pull in right before the heat race.
Yeah, I got here late, just barely got here. Just figured I'd try to give it its all at least.
So we saw you struggle a little bit in the heat race, but then here you are, second place for the feature win. What changes did you have to make, and how much happier are you with the car this way?
I had some technical difficulties in the heat race, so I wasn't able to really race hard in that, so I had to start last in the feature and just gave my all. I was in a 360 motor tonight, so it was really hard passing cars compared to those with the 410 and all the power.
Now, do you think the 360 was disadvantaged when the water truck came out for between the heat and the feature?
A little bit, but it made the racing a little bit better, I guess, overall, so more side-by-side racing, and that's what counts, right?
It was some good racing to watch. Well, congratulations on second place. You got any sponsors you would like to thank?
I want to thank Napa Auto Parts of Rockwell, Wham, Burning Rubber Radio, Condon Motorsports, Cool Shirt, Racing Electronics, Bow Motorsports, Farlow Motorsports, BED, and everyone else that supports me, and then as well as JSRL for hosting, and Spike Chassis for sponsoring the series, and you guys for broadcasting.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate doing it.
All right, KR, I've went and caught up with our third place podium finisher, the 83 of Dan Holmes. Dan, first and foremost, Dan, run us through what happened there mid-race.
I had a horrible push all day, and I was fighting it, and he got the best of me right there. And yeah, I ate the wall.
I think you may have gotten a little fortunate, though. You didn't get too much damage on the 83 machine. You were able to keep going.
Oh, whatever I hit, whatever bent, it helped a little bit. It got me to third, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so you can't be too disappointed after that. You were running second, and you got right back up there on the podium. Dan, I'm gonna go ahead and congratulate you. That was an impressive performance. I'm really surprised that you got back up there. I thought maybe that 83 machine had a bent W link or some bent arms or something that may have made that car a little bit tougher to drive. But you know, it just goes to show that people put out and build great equipment for these things. It can take a little bit of a beating.
You're surprised. I didn't even know where I was running. I was fighting the thing all the way around.
Well, Dan, congratulations on your podium finish tonight. We know you can't do this all by yourself. You got anybody you'd like to thank back there in the pit area?
Well, my brother-in-law, Brian, he came out and helped me out with practice and stuff, so I'll thank him. And I got to thank Spike Chassis for what they do for this series, and Jason Brown for all the work he does for this series. This is a great, fun time, and you got to thank him.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and speculate a little bit, but pretty sure after tonight's event you are going to be the series points leader. There's 3 races remaining, one of which coming on dirt at Volusia, the last 2 on asphalt at Iowa and Lucas Oil, following a 1-week break between the dirt and asphalt. How are you feeling about your confidence level and your ability to win a series title with the JSRL Spike Chassis Sprint Car Series?
Well, you're gonna have to see what happens. You know, I'm not the best with setups. I gotta get practicing, and I won't be around next week. But I'm just gonna have to ride it out, see what happens. It'll be fun.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and congratulations on getting that car back together and bringing it home in a podium finish.
All right, thank you.
That was tonight's third place finisher, Dan Holmes. Let's take a minute now and go through the rundown again of tonight's feature finish. Finished first. His 4th consecutive feature event win is the 50 of Bo Brunig. Coming across second is the 16 Jeffrey Stanton, followed by the number 83 of Dan Holmes. You just heard from all 3 of those drivers. Finishing 4th, the Nightmare, number 12, Jason Brown. Scored 5th, but off the speedway, was the number 17 of Jim Vig. He was scored 3 laps down. And finishing 6th after not being able to get that car to fire is the number 56 of David Flick. KR, any final thoughts on tonight's Lanier Speedway dirt, play in the clay, whatever you want to call it, raceway?
These guys put on a good driving show on how to handle this non-wing car here at Lanier. We saw examples of, You know, when you get on the throttle, which we saw with Jim Vig, how the car can just get sideways, and it pulled him down into the inside wall. But we also saw when you do it right through Bo Brunig, who just did an amazing job on the high side and, you know, never set a foot wrong and just managed to be consistent and pull out a good win.
Yeah, I got the chance tonight to run the qualifier series with the JSRL guys, and I'll tell you what, they put me in my place. I was feeling like the king of the world when I was quick time before the 25-lap event in the qualifier, and then, man, I just got spanked. Started on the pole and finished outside the top 3 and didn't even get a chance to qualify for tonight.
Yep.
I know you didn't get you and I are a little friendly when we run a little bit of the qualifiers.
We like to swap some paint, don't we?
Yeah, that we do.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. Congratulations to Bo Brunig. Thank you very much for joining me and some guy who thinks he can drive named Brett Strickler.
Yeah, whatever you say there, KR.
You guys have an enjoyable weekend. Happy New Year to y'all. And again, thank you for joining us.